what should a regular person do who's in the United States? So how is there any way to like so when this economic crash happens, that's it. Everybody just loses all their money. What should people do? Is there a way to protect yourself? Do you think?
Right. So, you know, part of this escalatorial plan requires depopulation, as you pointed out earlier. They do plan to kill a lot of people, and when I mean a lot of people, I mean like over 90% of humanity will be killed over the next 20 years. Okay, that is part of the wider divine plan, and I think that most people who die will be because they refuse to wake up to reality, because they refuse to understand the larger picture in place. So I think one thing that's really important is for people to have the courage to admit that the world is changing and to have the faith that things will turn out for the better. So basically, knowledge. Keep yourself informed. You know, and that's why shows like yours is so important, right? Because during COVID, you were actually telling people the truth when most people didn't want to hear the truth. Okay, so most people who die will be because they lack the courage to see the truth for what it is. That's number one. Number two is that money is a great Satan of this world. It's a great illusion. That money is the mechanism by which they control you. And what you need to recognize is that true wealth is your spirituality. True wealth is your empathy, your humanity, your consciousness. So focus on building strong relations with people around you and just accept the fact that your money is not going to be worth that much in a year or two. That vacation you have planned for the Maldives in spring of next year, it's not gonna happen anymore, okay? Just give up these material obsessions and focus on things that make you happy, which is family, friends, purpose, spirituality, creativity. These things make you happy, and you should focus on these things. Be kind, be generous to your neighbors, because in the future, it's these neighbors that may save your life. And the third thing I I will say is spirituality is what's really important. You know, Tucker Carlson, he says this a lot, but what's going to happen is a spiritual war, and it is true. Um, you know, there will be lots of these geopolitical wars. But the war that really matters is a war for your heart, the war for your faith, for your soul. And if you just focus on being optimistic, then I guarantee you, you will survive the coming apocalypse. Okay, but again, it's your choice. It's always your choice. Free will is the divine principle of the universe. You have to choose to be free. You have to choose to be brave. You have to choose to live. And so whatever happens will depend a lot on personal choice.
Okay, well, it's really there is no silver lining. There's no bright spot. There's no good news. It's all bad news. Uh,
No, 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 no. I think there is a silver lining. The silver lining is that for the first time in our lives, people are waking up to the truth, right? Think about um, how people now recognize that we're run by demons. This didn't happen during COVID. This didn't happen during the Biden years. People just chose to put their heads in the sand. But these Epstein files that are being released, this war in Iran, it's basically shattering the worldview of normies. And maybe this war is actually part of God's divine plan to bring about a global spiritual awakening, to heighten the consciousness of humanity so that we collectively can build a better world.
but if 90% of the people are dead, so the people behind is the Greater Israel Project. You're saying they have a plan to have. So does that? How does that connect with the WEF and COVID and the vaccine? How do they all connect somehow, or is and that does that connect to the 90% of humanity dead? How does this all connect?
Well, I mean, look, you're part of the global elite. You all believe that 8 billion people on this planet, it's not sustainable. It's a burden on the planet. It's a burden on government. 8 billion people want to live middle class lives. They want air conditioning. They want to drive SUVs. They want to vacation in the Maldives. This is not sustainable. But if we reduce the population to like, I don't know, 100 million people, well, then we can create paradise on earth, right? So short-term pain, but long-term gain, right? This is how literally every one of the global elite thinks and behaves. And it is demonic, right? But they literally believe that what everything that they're doing is for the betterment of humanity. Everything that they're doing is to create heaven on earth, including these Christian Zionists, including these WEF people. Anyone in the elite believe that I need to be like Thanos. I need to create the Thanos solution. Snap my finger and half of humanity will disappear, and then we'll instantly have paradise on earth.
And do you feel like people like like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, George Soros, uh, Charles Schwab, the people who seem to be the richest people in the world, Elon Musk, these people, are they the ones implementing this plan? Do they, or are they not, or are they aware of the plan? What do you think?
I think there are layers to power. I think that if we know who they are, they don't have the real power. I think that the real powerful people are the occultists, the heads of secret societies who spend their time dreaming up these crazy schemes to conquer the world. And they're hidden in the shadows. And they're the ones who come up with these plans. And Jeffrey Epstein, Jared Kushner, they're the operatives. They're the ones who actually go out and actually implement the plan in the world. And then people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, they're like poster boys. They're the ones that capture people's imagination. They're like PR people, basically. So I think there are different layers to power, but the way that people think power works is not the way power works, okay? Donald Trump is not the most powerful person in America. The president of the United States is not the most powerful person in America. And the reason why is that the president of the United States is a temp. I mean, he's a temporary employee, right, for 8 years at most. You're not going to give all the power to that person.
Yes. Well, what Kurt Metzger says on my show is that if Jeffrey Epstein, we try to figure out if he's really dead. I think he's alive. And Kurt says, well, if he worked for the Mossad, he's dead. But if the Mossad worked for him, then he's alive, which means he worked for the Rothschilds.
Right. So one thing that these occultists believe in is an idea of reincarnation. So they never die. They just reincarnate. Okay. So even if he physically was dead, he would still be able to reincarnate himself into another body at some point. Like these extremists, all right, these Jewish extremists, Shabbat Lubavitch, at the very extreme, they believe that there's actually only 600,000 humans in this world. Everyone else is an animal. These 600,000 come from the splintering of the world soul, Adam Kadmon. And what's important is to bring the 600,000 people back into Jerusalem to redeem them and repair the world. And everyone else can just die. Who cares? That we're taught doesn't make any sense. Now, and I'll give you an example where, during the Gilded Age, Rockefeller monopolized America's oil resources. Question then is, how was a normal person with very little resources, how was he able to monopolize the entire national oil resources of America? And you do some basic research. What you recognize is that he was not a billionaire. He was not a rich person. He was just an agent. He was just a poster boy for the city of London. The city of London was taking all this wealth that it generated through the opium trade in China and by stealing from India and then reinvesting it back in America. But if the city of London would do that, the American population would rebel because they hate Britain. They hated Britain at that time. So they needed an agent, a poster boy, in order to launder all this wealth into America and control all the national resources of America. And that person, and these people are Rockefeller, Carnegie, Vanderbilt, Morgan, right? And you fast forward to the 1980s, and then the question then is like, why was the Pentagon, who had spent billions and decades in developing all this cutting edge uh, computer research. Why were they just giving this stuff for free to guys like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs? And the answer is because they wanted to create a surveillance state. But if the Pentagon were to sell computers to American people, the American people would be like, "Screw you! You guys are the military. You guys caused the Vietnam War. I'm not going to surrender my personal freedom to you." There'll be a national outcry. But because Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, these guys were selling the internet, then I was like, well, these are nerds. Sure, I can trust them. Okay, so the way you think power works isn't actually how power works. Power is much more deceptive. It's always behind the scenes manipulating events.